Hey guys, Dan here with another graphic novel trade paperback review. I guess I'm going to call this a trade paperback because this is a series of reprinted comics from the 70s. This is a new series for those who are not aware for Marvel Comics. It's called Decades and Marvel in the 70s. And this one collection is the Legion of Monsters. Now, I will admit I wanted to read this because, frankly, I've just ran out of horror comics to read, and I want to read some horror comics for October because it's leading up to Halloween, and I've just read almost every horror comic that is out there. I did discover that there are a few that I have not yet read, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to read them before Halloween. We'll have to wait and see. But enough of that. Let's get on with this. Now, like I said, this does collect a number of issues from the 70s. For those interested, if you really want to seek these out, or if you're interested for what books they're from, we have The Legion of Monsters #1, which is from 1975, Marvel Preview #8, Marvel Premiere #28, Marvel Spotlight #2 and 5, and those are from 1971. Tomb of Dracula 1972 #1, and Frankenstein 1973 #1. So that pretty much tells you what kind of monsters or creatures are featured in this. So, I mean, I'm not one for black and white comics, but, you know, and I have to say that a lot of these older comics from the 70s kind of remind me of the EC comics, the Tales from the Crypt, and there was another one that came out around the same time. They were kind of reprinting these old comics from the 60s and 70s. I don't know if you remember that. I might be dating myself, but like in the late 80s or early 90s, the EC Tales from the Crypt books were reprinted, and I used to collect those. I collected them not with the intention that they'd be worth something because they were reprints. I just collected them because, hey, I'm a creep. I like horror comics, so yeah, that's why I collected them, and I found them to be interesting. They were kind of silly, kind of dumb, but you know, it is what it is. It was the 70s, and they had to follow like a comics code, so they couldn't be too graphic with their content or too much gore and stuff like that. So they had to, you know. Yeah, they had limitations as to how they could tell their stories, you know. So a lot of it was like, you know, we had to allude to certain things happening and stuff like that. And I don't know if that's why some of them were printed in black and white, because like if you had them in color, you know. But I found this to be interesting. They showed like early Ghost Rider, early Man-Thing and Blade, and there's some, you know, because it is Marvel, you know, it's going to have Mobius and all that, and Morbius or whatever. I can never remember that guy's name. You know, the vampire guy from Spider-Man, and then Werewolf by Night, and yeah, Morbius. Sorry if I said Mobius, because Mobius is the artist. But yeah, I did find this to be a nice little read. It's something. It's a light horror comic read. Like I said, it's not too graphic. I did rate this 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. It was kind of interesting to read the articles about the different horror things, the horror novels and stuff that were, and movies and stuff, because they had some articles in here from back in the day and what was relevant at the time. So, I mean, if you guys want to go check this out, I mean, it is comics from the 70s. Like I said, comics were different back then. You know, they weren't they weren't as great as they are now, let's just say, just because of the having to follow the comics code, and they weren't allowed to talk or show certain things. So it is what it is. But, you know, I did think this was kind of decent. I may or may not check out the other Decades books. I'm not a big fan of the 60s and 70s books. I mean, unless it's X-Men, then I'm all about that. I used to, like, that was another series that was reprinted, in the late 80s and early 90s was the X-Men books, and they called them Classic X-Men. And I was collecting those and reading all those stories. I really, really loved those. But enough of that. I'm not going to ramble anymore about like that kind of stuff. I will have a link down below that should work for US. Hopefully it still works for the UK and Canada. I know that due to people not clicking and buying through my link from UK and Canada, the Amazon links may not work anymore for UK and Canada pretty soon. I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Because if you're from the UK and Canada, please use the Amazon link unless it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, then let me know that so that way I can stop telling y'all to like click it. For everybody outside the US and you would like to pick up a copy of this, please click my book depository link that's down there. They offer free worldwide shipping. They do offer great discounts because they are a subsidy of Amazon anyways. Their whole commission and affiliate thing works differently than the Amazon one. But I do appreciate all of y'all that have bought books through or different items through my links. I do get a small percentage. I don't get AdSense. A lot of people come for the reviews, but they're not subscribed. So I have all these views, I just don't have the subs. It is what it is, like I always say. If you came here looking for more comic book graphic novel reviews, please hit that subscriber button. While you're there, hit that notification bell so you know when I upload a new video. I'm trying to be a little more sporadic now that school is back in session and my kid is back in school, so I have more time to read and film and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Till next time, I'll be geeking out.